GloRilla's back in jail, and this whole arrest? It feels shady as hell. But what's really blowing up online is her cell conditions. Absolutely disgusting. We're talking cramped, filthy, straight-up inhumane. Fans are furious, and honestly, they've got every reason to be. Let's break it down. This ain't your typical celebrity caught slippin' moment. This one's got the culture shook. Picture this. GloRilla, one of the hottest rappers out right now, just killed it performing at the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis, living big, stacking bags, and putting on for her people. But while she's out there handling business like a boss, some grimy burglars hit her crib back home, and somehow, she ends up behind bars while those criminals still roam free. Wild, right? This isn't social media beef or some petty star drama. This screams broken system energy. GloRilla didn't run, didn't hide behind some expensive legal squad. Nah, she stepped up like a real one and surrendered to Forsyth County Jail on July 22nd, 2025. That's bold, that's fearless. But here's the kicker. The Forsyth County Jail, over on 202 Veterans Memorial Boulevard in Cumming, Georgia, is no cushy spot for celebs. This ain't no country club jail situation. It's rough, it's nasty, and the way she's being housed, straight up disrespectful. Fans are heated and people are calling for answers, and fast. This ain't no cushy jail setup. This is a hardcore county lockup. They processed GloRilla like she was some street criminal, not the actual victim here. Took her prints, snapped the mugshot, and tossed her straight into a cell. Cold, cramped, and lit by those buzzing fluorescent lights that never shut off.
Homeowner is a victim of a serious crime, and we are committed to bringing the suspects to justice. At the same time, we must continue to uphold and enforce the law in all aspects of the case.
Reality hits fast in a place like that. You're locked in a cinder block box barely big enough to breathe, with a mattress thinner than a magazine page. No privacy, no peace, no comfort. Just a toilet right out in the open. Stainless steel with no seat. Pure humiliation every single time you use it. And your roommate? Could be someone detoxing hard off drugs, or someone screaming through the night because the place has zero real mental health care. Inmates say hygiene supplies are a joke. You can go days begging just to get toilet paper. Showers, mold creeping up the corners, the air thick with sweat and industrial cleaner that clings to your clothes and your skin. And the food? Cold, bland, and barely enough to keep your stomach from eating itself. And the worst part, this jail's got a dirty reputation. A former deputy was even arrested for sexually assaulting an inmate, and insiders say leadership just looks the other way when it comes to abuse and neglect. So you're not just locked up. You're fighting for your sanity every second you're in there. The streets went wild when this news broke, and for good reason. When the news dropped, people lost it, because this whole thing made no sense. The victim sitting in a jail cell, while the real criminals were still out there probably laughing it up. GloRilla did get released later that same day on a $22,260 bond, but by then, the damage was already done. They had her walking through that system, fingerprinted like she was some thug, forced to sit in a cell, thinking about how messed up everything really was. But if the cops thought GloRilla was just gonna sit there quiet and swallow that disrespect, oh, they had her completely twisted. Her response? Pure fire. Straight smoke for every broken priority in that system. She lit up social media with her clapback, and it was everything the culture needed to hear.
In the statement, they say that the reason why they were able to arrest her was because the weed that they found was in a closet in the master bedroom.
She posted, "Long story short, my house gets home invaded and I'm the one arrested. 1, I wasn't busted. 2, my house got robbed. 3, I wasn't even home." That hit different because it was all facts. And she was right. Why was cannabis possession the focus instead of finding out who broke into her home? Everyone in the streets felt that frustration. Like, really? You're ignoring armed burglars to chase someone over a little weed? That's what had folks heated. And GloRilla's legal team? They weren't playing either. They went hard, publicly calling out law enforcement for focusing on drug busts while the real criminals are still running free. This wasn't some celebrity meltdown. This was GloRilla calling out real broken systems in law enforcement. Her attorney, Drew Finley, didn't hold back, calling the case a disturbing window into just how warped these priorities have become. And don't forget, her own family called the cops for help after the burglary. Yet no warrants have even been issued for the suspects. The Forsyth County Sheriff's Office tried to clean up their mess with a weak statement, but it only made them look more ridiculous. Sheriff Ron Freeman wrote, "We're committed to bringing these suspects to justice. But where's that same energy when it comes to actually catching those burglars?" They literally admitted she's a victim, then treated her like she was the criminal. That's wild contradiction on full display. The streets felt it instantly. This wasn't just about GloRilla, this was about every person who's been done dirty by the same broken priorities. Fans rallied hard, seeing this arrest as a perfect snapshot of how drug policing often targets marginalized folks while real criminals skate free. Social media exploded with love for GloRilla and dragged law enforcement for their backwards focus.
That is calling out what's happening to GloRilla right now, and honestly, can you even blame them? So earlier this week, GloRilla turned herself in after being hit with felony drug charges. But here's where it gets wild. The whole thing started because her home in Georgia got broken into at like 1:30.
People weren't just hyped because she's famous. They saw straight-up injustice happening in real time. Her case became the prime example of how this system keeps failing people from the culture, and folks weren't going to stay quiet about it. What made this whole thing even more infuriating is how different crimes usually get handled. Normally, when someone's house gets burglarized, cops focus on catching the thieves, recovering stolen goods, and making sure the victims feel safe. But in GloRilla's case, they flipped the whole script, turning the victim into the target while the real criminals ran free like nothing happened. The real controversy is how law enforcement handled it, prioritizing drug enforcement over finding the burglars who violated her home. And this ain't just about GloRilla. This is about a system that stays obsessed with weed busts while violent criminals keep hurting people. Her response online, perfectly timed and straight up iconic. She dropped on X. "Long story short, my house gets home invaded and I'm the one arrested." That simple post became a rallying cry for everyone fed up with the justice system's broken focus. People saw it as proof of everything wrong with law enforcement, and they weren't quiet about it either. And here's the thing, it's not even the first time she's been through something wild like this. Remember that 2024 DUI arrest that had everyone talking? On April 16, 2024, GloRilla got pulled over in Suwanee, Georgia, after flipping a U-turn at a solid red light around 4 a.m. That wasn't just some random traffic stop. This was at Peachtree Industrial Boulevard and Suwanee Walk Avenue, and the cop instantly thought something was off. The officer noted, bloodshot, watery eyes, smelled alcohol, and claimed the odor of marijuana was coming from the car.
Are proving or stating that you are over the legal limit to be driving right now.
Where to prove it? I just passed everything. I need her.
But GloRilla's response? Legendary. The body cam footage went viral because of how she handled the whole stop like a boss, keeping it real while the situation spiraled all over social media. From the start, you could tell GloRilla wasn't about to play along with that typical DUI script. When the cop asked how many drinks she had, her Memphis attitude came out hard. She wasn't here for the nonsense. But then things took a sharp turn when the officer noticed something else that instantly changed the vibe of the stop. Here's where it escalated. From a simple traffic stop to something way more serious. GloRilla casually mentioned she had a firearm in the car. And to be fair, she was trying to handle it responsibly, letting the officer know about the weapon, even while clearly a bit impaired. But what happened next? That's the part everybody still talks about. GloRilla tried pulling the celebrity card to smooth things over, but the cop wasn't impressed and clearly didn't even recognize who she was. You could see her frustration building, like, "Really? You don't know me?" And then came the legendary moment that turned into a meme across every platform. Her bold, now iconic line. "I'm on your TV. I'm pure gorilla. Even in a messed up situation, she held on to that Memphis swagger that made her famous in the first place. That one line captured her whole vibe, unshakable confidence, even when everything's going sideways. Social media ate it up and the clip went viral almost instantly. But that officer? He wasn't having any of it, and the tension in that stop only grew from there. Then came the field sobriety test, and that's when things really got wild. GloRilla went through the whole routine, stumbled on the tests, and then flat out refused the breathalyzer. But even after all that, she kept arguing with the officer, straight up challenging the results like, nah, I passed that. That Memphis fire her fans love? It was on full display. She wasn't backing down for nobody.
3 years in jail.
Wow. Yeah, I did.
Except from stealing from Kmart, cereal.
Yeah.
That don't sound right. No, I want you to be honest, because you've got this on the paper.
I don't like the fact that you dug that up.
No, we're gonna cut the cameras. No, but that, like, you didn't go to jail for 3 years for stealing cereal, right?
Yes, I did.
Even as the cuffs came out, GloRilla stood on her position, claiming she did everything right and passed the tests. That refusal to fold, even with evidence stacked against her, just showed how much she wasn't accepting what was happening. Then the car search went down, and things got worse. Cops found marijuana and an open container of alcohol inside. Boom, more charges added to the list. By the end of it, she was hit with DUI, possession and consumption of an open alcoholic beverage in a vehicle, and failure to obey a traffic control device. They booked her into Gwinnett County Detention Center, holding her from 6:12 a.m. to 9:41 a.m., before releasing her on a $1,956 bond. But here's the crazy part. Compare that 2024 DUI case to her 2025 burglary arrest. In 2024, she was actually there, allegedly breaking the law, and yeah, there was a real public safety concern about impaired driving. The cops handled it by the book, professional, thorough, sticking to the actual violations. But in 2025, whole different vibe. She wasn't even home. She was the victim of a violent burglary, yet somehow ended up facing more serious felony charges than she did in a situation where she was allegedly the one messing up. That contrast had people heated, and it became the core reason this new arrest blew up so fast online. That was some straight-up backward stuff. GloRilla's 2024 arrest blew up online, not just because of the charges, but because of how she acted during the stop and what she said to the cops.
Their statement, they do say this, they are the police down there, say the homeowner is a victim of a serious crime and we are committed to bringing the suspect to justice. This was a statement from the sheriff, but he says at the same time we must continue to uphold and enforce the law in all aspects of.
When she hit them with, "You know who I am?" and the officer calmly said, "No," the internet ate it up. That one exchange showed her bold confidence and the officer's no-nonsense professionalism, treating her like any regular person, not some untouchable celebrity. But even with that drama swirling, GloRilla didn't cancel a single show. She still hit the stage at the Atrium Health Amphitheater in Macon later that week, proving she's all about her fans and staying committed, even while dealing with serious legal heat. That body cam footage? It went wild online, capturing every moment, including one controversial clip where her top slipped and exposed her right breast for a split second. That sparked another wave of chatter, though most people focused more on her words and her fearless energy than that wardrobe slip. Here's what really stuck with people. This arrest showed GloRilla's raw personality under pressure. Yeah, she was in the wrong, drinking and driving, open container, illegal U-turn, but she still held her ground with that trademark defiance, giving the world that now iconic "I'm on your TV" line. But when you line up that 2024 moment next to her 2025 burglary arrest, the difference is striking. She's grown, way more focused, way more composed, and way more aware of how the system works. The 2025 case showed maturity and strength that her fans didn't see back then, and it's why people are rallying behind her harder than ever now. Back in 2024, GloRilla was out there arguing with cops, trying to flex her celebrity status to dodge the heat from her own mistakes. Fast forward to 2025, and it's a whole different vibe. She's using her platform to call out systemic injustice that impacts her entire community. That's growth you can't ignore. She went from fighting for herself to fighting for everybody. The 2024 arrest.
You still are going to be arrested.
For what?
Okay.
You don't have any proof on me.
No, ma'am, I do. Okay.
What's your proof?
That was about personal responsibility. She messed up, got caught, and had to deal with it. But this 2025 situation, it's about justice, about exposing a system with its priorities completely upside down. And that's why this case isn't just about one rapper. It's become a conversation about deeper cultural issues, power, and who really gets protected. And then there's the industry plant talk. Oh yeah, those whispers got louder too. Some folks are saying this whole mess might be the industry trying to clean house and push GloRilla out. Those industry plant accusations? They've been thrown at female rappers for years, especially when one of them blows up fast and secures serious bags. This whole debate hits at something real. How authentic artists get treated the moment they make it out of the hood and start stacking real money. People love to shout, industry plant, without even knowing what it really means. So let's break it down, because this term gets tossed around like candy, but few actually know where it comes from, or why it's aimed so hard at female rappers when they're winning big. The whole industry plant thing? It's basically saying an artist is sold as being independent and grassroots, when in reality, they're secretly backed by labels or powerful insiders. Like their success is manufactured, not earned. But here's the truth. Most of the time, that term is vague and straight up misused, especially when it comes to female artists and Black creatives trying to break through. For GloRilla specifically, the streets have spoken. She ain't no industry plant. People see her for what she really is, a marketable artist with real appeal who still holds on to her Memphis identity and unique style. Her story's too raw, her grind too authentic, and her connection to the culture too deep for anyone to call her manufactured. Let me lay it out. GloRilla's rise ain't no fairy tale cooked up in a boardroom.
GloRilla was arrested in Georgia on felony drug charges and was booked Tuesday in Forsyth County, Georgia. I believe I'm saying that correct. The charges were possession of a scheduled controlled substance and possession of marijuana over 1 hour.
Born July 28, 1999, in Fraser, one of the toughest neighborhoods in North Memphis. She came up in a strict Pentecostal household, where her first taste of music was singing in her church choir. This is someone who literally came from nothing and built something massive through pure talent, drive, and staying loyal to her roots. She originally wanted to be a singer, but when she lost her voice around 16, she didn't quit. She pivoted to rapping. That ain't some calculated industry move. That's survival, that's creativity, that's real hood energy. And her breakout? FNF Let's Go, produced by Hit Kid in April 2022, an organic smash that exploded on TikTok and YouTube, sparking the viral FNF challenge. That's not fake success. That's authentic come-up energy the culture respects. This wasn't some label-engineered rollout. It was raw, organic, and real. FNF Let's Go hit because it resonated with women everywhere who were fed up with toxic relationships and ready to celebrate their independence loud and proud. That track went crazy. Over 45 million YouTube views in under 3 months, and peaking at number 42 on the Billboard Hot 100. But the real impact? It became a cultural moment, an anthem for real people living real experiences. And you can't fake that type of connection with the streets or the culture. That success opened big doors, leading to GloRilla signing with Yo Gotti's CMG Collective Music Group under Interscope in July 2022. But pay attention, that signing came after she'd already blown up organically, not before. That's the opposite of an industry plant move. She proved herself first, then leveled up. And the way that signing went down? Pure Memphis energy.
Not only can I smell alcohol coming from your breath, but I can also smell marijuana coming from this car. Okay? So, in just a moment, I'll be searching this car. Is there anything that I'm going to find in this car?
I have a gun registered to my...
The announcement wasn't in some polished corporate boardroom. It was on a private jet, with GloRilla signing the contract while holding stacks of cash and sipping champagne, symbolizing her climb from Memphis poverty straight into rap royalty. And she didn't slow down after that. Her follow-up smash, Tomorrow 2 featuring Cardi B, went even harder, peaking at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100. That was her first top 10 hit, and on top of that, FNF, Let's Go, scored her a Grammy nomination for Best Rap Performance, while she took home Best Breakthrough Artist. GloRilla proves she's no one-hit wonder. She's a certified star with a story too real to fake. At the 2023 BET Hip Hop Awards, GloRilla's star power was undeniable, and when her debut studio album Glorious dropped in October 2024, it debuted top 10 on the Billboard 200, packed with heavy-hitter collabs like 21 Savage, Cardi B, and SZA. Even with all that success, she never lost her Memphis identity. She's kept it raw and stayed loyal to her fan base from day one. But here's the bigger picture. GloRilla's not the first female rapper to face these industry plant whispers. There's a pattern, and it's worth calling out. Look at Ice Spice. She shot up in 2021-22 with hits like Munch and Princess Diana, and people instantly accused her of being an industry creation because of how fast she blew up and how polished her branding was. Ice Spice handled it smooth, saying, "I just let people believe whatever they want." At first, it bothered me. Now I understand that comes with the lifestyle. Then there's Sexy Red, who went viral off Raw Street Records and high-profile collabs. Critics like Lord Jamar even claimed she was put in the game to skew the mind of the masses. Her clapback? Pure fire.
In a statement that I received, that while they were searching the unit to see like what was taken and just figure out the crime scene, they smelled a strong odor that was consistent with illegal narcotics. And as a result of that, the Linear Regional Drug Task Force was contacted and responded.
This is free. I'm not paying no promo. They know every time I get posted, it's going to go up. And don't forget Doechii, signed to TDE, who blew up online and still got labeled manufactured, despite a long grind and undeniable talent. Here's the real talk. Across Reddit and music forums, people admit this industry plant label gets thrown at female artists way more, especially young Black women. It's like the second they blow up, instead of celebrating their grind, people question if they're real. That bias is exactly why GloRilla's story hits so hard. She's proof that authenticity still breaks through, even when the hate tries to rewrite the narrative. That loyalty to her people, that's what makes GloRilla stand out. Instead of staying silent, she's speaking up, calling out this injustice loud and clear. And the timing? Wild. She's at the peak of her career. Her album Glorious doing big numbers, her influence on the culture stronger than ever. Yet here she is, having to fight not just for her legal rights, but for her identity as a real, authentic artist from the hood. This whole situation pulled the curtain back on how those industry plant accusations get used to tear down artists, especially women, right when they should be celebrated for beating the odds. Instead of questioning whether GloRilla's real enough, people should be asking why a successful artist can have her home invaded, then end up facing more legal heat than the criminals who actually broke into her house. The culture's watching, and her response? It only made her look even more authentic. She's not out here begging for pity or using fame to dodge consequences. She's calling out broken systems that affect way more folks than just her. That kind of leadership, that raw honesty, no label can fake that. No industry machine can manufacture it. When you step back and see the whole picture, her Memphis roots, her organic social media come up, her viral success, and now her willingness to fight this legal battle in public, it's clear GloRilla isn't just another successful rapper. She's proof you can stay true to yourself and your people, even when the system comes for you. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and drop a comment. And I'll see you on the next one.